That his name fits him. His name fits him. Because he's a dummy, Dufus. He's a liar. The American Dufus is a liar. He doesn't correspond with GMJ, or his lawyers or anything else. And nor does that black media group, whatever group that is, whoever they are. They have nothing to do with the NFAC or Grandmaster Jay. They just starting. So if people want to give their information to them, that's on them. They have nothing to do with the NFAC or Grandmaster Jay. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. Now let me just see. Some people came in. David Weeks, Soul Journey, Daryl Williams, Questman. Questman is streaming at the same time. If I end this early, y'all could go over to his live stream. But, we're not going to give these people any more light. They're spitting out hot air, lying ass hot air. So if you want to believe the lies, that's up to y'all. But I'm telling you now, that's just what it is. Lies. I need to play that song. Yes, I do. Let me find it. Stop believing the lies, family. It makes me laugh, but they're trying to say, I don't know what they're trying to say, but I'll tell you this, they have not spoken to Grandmaster Jay. They are not affiliated with the NFAC. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you what he said. Dufus is a liar. He's not affiliated and never will be. Never will be. You wishing and hoping. Wishing on a star. That's what you're doing, buddy. Stop the lies.
Ain't no need for no lies. Shit. That ain't even what I do. Always gotta give you that real shit. So it continues. All you gotta do is just tell me where I'm lying. Let go. You can take them to the water, but you can't make them drink. Yeah, that's big facts. You give them all the knowledge, but you can't make them think. Yeah, that's big facts. Give them help, but they don't want it, so it's hard to watch them sink. Yeah, that's big facts. When they portray you in your heart, it's hard for you to keep. Yeah, that's big facts. I tell you, loyalty is everything. It'll get you through everything. You keep it real and keep it solid. That's how you get to bigger, better things. You gotta have that thing, get you a watch and get a bigger chain. Or go get you some land so your wealth can last forever, man. So your kids and your kids can keep that money flowing. That generational wealth, you just keep that money going. But that man to say he know everything, he don't really know nothing. Oh yeah, I know I'm not your daddy, so you ain't gotta listen to me. I'm just trying to give back what I learned when I listened to he. So that glass water that's sitting there, you're not thirsty, don't drink it. And if there's nothing that you really want out of your life, then don't drink it. Because the decision that you just made, you see your ship is not sinking. Look at him drunk as hell off in the club, like what is he drinking? Being so disrespectful to women, something's bound to pop off. But he's so intoxicated and young, he just one hit from a loss. Go ahead and tell the people I'm lying, but you know that's big facts. You take them to the water, but you can't make them drink. Yeah, that's big facts. You give them all the knowledge, but you can't make them think. Yeah, that's big facts. Give them help, but they don't want it, so it's hard to watch them sink. Yeah, that's big facts. When they portray you in your heart, it's hard for you to keep. Yeah, that's big facts. Tell me where I'm lying. That's all you need to do is just tell me where I'm lying. Just tell me where I'm lying. Just tell me where I'm lying. That's all you need to do is just tell me where I'm lying. That's big facts. That's big facts. Tell me where I'm lying. So just tell me where I'm lying, because everything I'm telling you is big facts. So everything I'm saying, you should get that. A nigga try me, gotta get some get back. Big facts. So they don't come close, so they don't have to get back. And I keep that strap close so I don't get jacked. Because I work real hard for what I got, so you can't get that. So please don't make me squeeze, cause I don't wanna feel that kickback. Click. People waiting for your downfall, yeah, they wish that. I'ma turn around to my haters so they can kiss that. They must not see what the system's trying to do, you must have missed that. So the shit you see me do, it really ain't nothing for you to be pissed at. I wanna build the community up and make it strong, I really wish that. It's only a few of us around, the rest of y'all ain't really with that. You ain't speaking on nothing real, ain't got no time for the shit chat. You don't never tell the truth, and you don't know nothing about big facts. You can take them to the water, but you can't make them drink, Yeah, let's tell me where I'm lying. You can give them all the knowledge, but you can't make them think, Yeah, let's tell me where I'm lying. Help, they don't want it, so it's hard to watch them sink, Yeah, let's tell me where I'm lying. They betray you in your heart, it's hard for you to keep, Yeah, that's big facts. Tell me where I'm lying. It's the full household, tell me where I'm lying. It's the ghost. Big facts. Tell me where I'm lying.
The ghost ain't lying, and neither am I. American Dufus, he's a liar now. I think he's got a screw loose. That's what I think. He really believes he's talking to Grandmaster Jay. First of all, Grandmaster Jay does not have a Proton email. That's first of all. And that black media or whatever page that is, come on. Who are you people? Stop trying to make it seem like you're talking with Grandmaster Jay and you're with the NFAC. You have no affiliation. None whatsoever. You know, it's enough. I don't know what your end game is. You're trying to extract people's information. What is your end game? I don't get it. Grandmaster Jay has not been on social media since he's been in there. He has not contacted and did any interviews with anybody. He has his circle of people that he talks to, not just me. You know, but I'm going to let y'all know, American Dufus is a liar. Simple as that. I don't know who this other channel is and what they're trying to build. And, you know, see what Dufus is doing. He's pushing somebody else's agenda using NFAC and Grandmaster Jay's name. That's what he's doing. And that's what's going to get him in a lot of trouble. And I can't figure for the life of me how a man such as American Dufus is going to run for an independent candidate for the presidency and can't do his own goddamn research on who he's talking to. Because it's not Grandmaster Jay or any lawyers affiliated with Grandmaster Jay. You know, don't be a doofus. Too late. You've been pushing this lie out. Shalom, boss man in the building. I'm gonna shout y'all out in a minute. I got to get this out because the lie is coming. They're coming with videos saying they're building a community and all this. I don't know nothing about it. Grandmaster Jay ain't got nothing to do with it, and the NFAC has nothing to do with it. It's not the NFAC family. And if you listen to what they're saying, they're wanting all ex-members of the NFAC. So I don't know who is pushing. I know American Dufus is pushing their agenda, whoever they are, but they ain't NFAC, and it surely isn't Grandmaster Jay. Take it from me, family. I will repeat what he said. Dufus is a liar. He is not affiliated and never will be. I've got our brother coming on up here. Shalom, brother. Where's your mic? Turn your mic on. You're muted. Can't hear you. Yeah, you got to turn your mic on. So I'm going to shout out. Okay, I'm going to shout out everybody while you're in here. I see our brother Boss Man Blake is in the building. Clean Black Sneakers, Etta Spiritual Rising, Nicole Moore, Yaya's Kids. Let me go up. I seen Kevin Harris in the building. Gary Branch is in the building. I seen some other people. Wait a minute. Let me just go all the way up here. I believe I seen David Weeks come on in here. I really do. I believe I seen him earlier. Some more BP. There you are. I can hear you now, brother. Some more BP in the building. Lori Calkins in the building. Shalom, sis. Welcome, everybody. Darryl Williams is in the building. Of course, our brother, Soul Journey of Life, the Light Dome, is in the building. Shalom, brother. Can you hear me? Questman, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed. Peace and blessings. Yeah,
Peace
I
and
can hear you. It's a little bit of a delay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Let me.
So, what is your take on this? Well, we already know it's all a lie.
Yeah, there's a little bit of delay. I can't even hear myself echo.
Turn off your YouTube if it's on. Mute your YouTube that you are watching on. It should be all right. It should be all right. But what I'm going to do right now, you can stay right there, brother, but I'm going to play something. I'm going to play, I'm going to play something that, let me see. We're going to play Grandmaster Jay right now. That's what we're going to do. Here, let me share my screen. Let me see if I got it up there. And we're going to listen to what our brother Grandmaster Jay has to say.
Remember what he said. It says the malicious words of the slanderer is like a barbed and poisoned dart, and swifter to destroy than the whirlwind. The slanderer casts down the good work of men with the tempest of his foul breath. His spite undermines the peace of households, and his tongue fills temples of deceit. Slanderer coming to a. When I talk about the slanderer, remember what it says. It says the malicious words of the slanderer is like a barbed and poisonous of his foul breath. His spite undermines the peace of household, and his tongue fills temples of deceit.
The slanderer. That's exactly. Excuse me. That's exactly what. Yes, I hear you, brother. Yes, I do. I do hear you. You can't get the sound. You can't hear me? Okay, I'm just going to continue with the story. The brother Grandmaster Jay talked about the slanderer, and American Dufus is a liar and slandering. Yes, I hear you. We all hear you. Oh, well, you can hear me now? Okay, there we go. We're straight now. Okay. Shout out to everybody coming on. Go ahead, brother. Mm-hmm. 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 Moderate. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. The fact they don't have facts. He's talking to a email, and an email, if it's not from the prison, it's not from Jay. I'll tell you that much. You know, they don't. Mm-hmm. No, all he was doing was blocking people. I heard about it. I don't go and watch these things. I don't watch them, but I know it comes back to me, and I trust the sources that come to me and tell me things. And you question. Listen, I showed the video of Grandmaster Jay saying out his mouth that I'm doing things not on my own accord. Okay, I'm doing things, and he's in communication with me, and not only me. It's a few of us that he speaks with. So that being said, we know that America Dufus, everything he's put out has been a lie because he's not talking to Grandmaster Jay, John Fitzgerald Johnson. That's just the facts. Now, I don't know who you're talking to, but my problem is you're going to be running for president as an independent candidate, and you can't even do your research and figure out who you're talking to. That's scary. Mhm. Mm. Mhm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know that. Yeah. But right. Listen, speaking, no, I see all the people go in his chat, everybody that said spoke on it and let him know and tried to let him know he's not talking with Grandmaster Jay. They block. That's fine. So you want to keep up the lie. Okay, keep up the lie. But whoever this black media is, that has nothing to do with the NFAC. Period. They have nothing to do with Grandmaster Jay. Period. That's just what it is, family. I know we know it, but those folks on Dufus's page don't know any better. But to me, half of them are white supremacists anyway. I don't know who they are. I don't hang with them. I do with my own kind. So my question is to Dufus, why are you meddling in our business? Stay out of our business. You have nothing to do with it. Stop spreading these lies because you are not talking to Grandmaster Jay. You are pushing somebody else's agenda that has nothing to do with Grandmaster Jay. Simple as that. I don't know what this familia is. I don't know what that is. And Grandmaster Jay nor the NFAC have anything to do with it. So stop putting them together. Yes, I'm gonna. Yeah, fine. Right. Listen, we showed you the facts. Operation Bring Them Home showed you all the facts of what Grandmaster Jay is saying. We put it out there, that AI voice that they have of Grandmaster Jay, somebody speaking words that Grandmaster Jay would never come out of his mouth. It would never come out of his mouth, especially him coming against us. No, 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 no. I speak to Grandmaster often. It's crazy. No, to what his words. no, Grandmaster J, he don't speak like that. I'm going to show y'all how he speaks. Okay, I'm going to. Now there's only one Dufus, and that's American Dufus. He's real Dufus. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play a few videos, and I'm just coming off work, so I ain't gonna be up here too long. But we just had to get that out there. Grandmaster J has nothing to do with Black in Media or American Dufus. Grandmaster J did not send a letter to American Dufus. I don't know who sent that letter to him, but it wasn't Grandmaster J, that's for sure. So, and I'm going to play a couple of your songs too. But first, I want to shout out to Indigo Wolverine. Let me see. Hold on. Let me just play this. I'm going to let Grandmaster J speak in his own words. Okay. Let me just share my screen. Oh, wait a minute. Did I do the right thing? I don't think I shared my right screen. Oh, here it is. Hold on, family. Let me get it together. Oh, goodness. What did I share? Hold on. Where am I at? Oh, Lord. Where am I at? I shared myself. Look at that. I shared the whole, because I have to look at it. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to look at my thing because sometimes they mess with me. Yeah, they're right, Kevin. Dufus is an Edomite. I know. I was going to say that tonight, too. He sure is. A dummy. That's what I got him up there. He's a dummy. I mean, he wants so bad. So many people want so bad to have a conversation and with Grandmaster J that they're making up shit. It's not Grandmaster J, family. We know this. What's wrong with y'all? They do. And it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Grandmaster J will never correspond with you as much as you may want. Let's listen to our brother Grandmaster J right now.
Most people are wondering, well, why is this happening now? Most people will ask, well, why are they coming after you now? Well, that's an obvious question, as you said at the beginning of the show. What I will say to you, everyone, here's what I need, and I'll cut to the chase from my global family. Even though I am nested here in the United States, I will cut to the chase. What they've done is what they've done to all people who stood up for their people. They put them in a situation where they can break them financially, break their movement, then, of course, break their will, rob them of their freedom, and then eventually rob them of their life. This is not something that they're doing just for me. This is a process that's been around for years. You talked about that earlier. In order to beat this, it's going to take money, and it's going to take a sum of money, and they know that. The GoFundMe link for my legal defense has been provided to Brother Alpha, and I would ask people around the world, give what you can, even if it's just an American dollar or the equivalent. I am literally coming to the world saying that I have stood for the world, and now, world, I need your help. This black man, this distant cousin of yours, this blood ancestor of yours, this tribe member of yours, this descendant of slavery is requesting your assistance to please contribute to the GoFundMe account, whatever you can, in all of the countries that I have named. Please go to that link, and I'm asking humbly that I get assistance there. There have been a lot of folks here in the United States that have done what they can, but as we all know, there's a pandemic loose on the planet right now. We are in a place where some folks are locked down and times are hard. But one thing that I will communicate to you right now, that if this particular situation does go south for me, then they won't stop with me. I've broken no laws. I abided by all laws. I worked along with all municipalities and governments and dotted every I and crossed every T. And if they can turn around and charge me with something that appears to be something that everyone is shaking their head saying, how can this be? Then don't think that they'll stop there. There are bigger things at work here than just focusing on me. We're focusing on the NFAC. This is a focus on Black liberation. This is a focus on Black reparations. This is a focus on the alleviation of oppression from a different perspective all around the globe. They call it the Great Equalizer. But the weapon, the gun, if that's what they call it, has been the greatest equalizer that has been beneficial to everyone but us for the last 600 years. And now that we've organized ourselves legally so that we can have corrective show of forces to the powers to be to emphasize we want equality and freedom. We're not hating on anyone. We're not trying to attack anyone. We don't have an anti-police agenda. We don't have an anti-government agenda. I find it very, very distressing that when a group of Black people get together to take care of themselves, to protect themselves, that all of a sudden everyone thinks it's a problem. I need your help, family, in that respect. But here's something else that I need help with. I need help with every melanated person around the planet to stop looking at each other as if we're separate. Stop looking at each other as if we're the enemy. Stop tearing each other down. The one thing that makes our adversaries victorious is that they can sit back and watch us do their job for them, no matter where you are in the world. And that is why unity is the one thing that I would say I need help from you all with. The reason being is because in order for us to achieve the largest possibles of measure and success, there's some things that we would have to focus on, whether it's financing, whether it's administration, how we modernize ourselves, how we integrate ourselves, how we finance ourselves. All of these things can only come if we start working together and get over our differences and stop hating by default and loving as an afterthought. Let me say that again. Hating by default and loving as an afterthought. Yes, many of us are still brainwashed. Many of us have been brainwashed to the point where we do more damage to our own people than those who brainwashed you to start with. My cases are pending. I go to my first court date here in a few weeks. But this is going to be a long, drawn-out process, and unless I have the financial means to pay the lawyers on both sides, then I'm looking at a pretty grim future. So I'm requesting assistance. The GoFundMe link is there. At the same time, I don't want to dwell on that. I did want to take a moment to express my continued love.
There you go. Now, I want to go into your song in a minute, but let me put you back on the screen. There we go. I don't like that. I don't want to be up close and personal. 7 years. Okay. I want to shout out to Indigo Wolverine, aka Show for That. That reel. And you're hearing it from Grandmaster Jay's own mouth. You could see him speak. Okay. The things that I play, I'm supposed to bring to you guys' attention so that you see. This is coming from Grandmaster Jay. Now, this happened before he got sentenced for 7 years. 7 years for what? I don't know. We were there, Quest Man. I know you was down there with you. We were down there, you know, for both the trial when it was supposed to first happen and the sentencing. We were both there, brother. It was nice meeting you. Yes, yes. So, you know, Grandmaster Jay has a very strong support system out here. And when we see people coming out spouting lies because nobody has heard Grandmaster Jay speak since he's been in there. He has not done an interview. He has not sent any letters to no white man. I'm going to say it like that. He has not. When he has his own team. Uh-huh. Yes. It's not. It's not. You know, but even if he were, because he did do an interview with a different white man that has a big channel. I can't remember Selinsky, I think his name is. Why would he go to Dufus when he has him? He's got a very big channel. And he's already done an interview with him. He's never done an interview with Dufus and never will. That's his word. Never will. He's never spoken to Dufus, never sent him an email, never sent him any AI recording. I'm going to say it like that because that's what it was. You know, and the NFAC, NFAC has no affiliation with this bullshit that's coming out now. The Familia, I don't know what it is. I don't know whose agenda Dufus is pushing, but it has nothing to do with the NFAC or John Fitzgerald Johnson. aka Grandmaster Jay. Period. Yeah. Monotone. Right. 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 That's, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And Grandmaster Jay's words are not like that. They're just, he doesn't speak like that. He does not talk like that. But we all know this. But other people don't know this. But if you listen to that Black Media's video, if you heard, they're trying to recruit. That's what I hear. They're trying to recruit people. That, you know? Mhm. Yeah. Clear difference, because first of all, Grandmaster Jay never comes out and says anything. He's telling us now Dufus is a liar because Dufus is just going too far now. He's going too far spreading this lie. He has not received a letter from Grandmaster Jay or any correspondence from Grandmaster Jay. And that's 100. Okay? People want to know why. Why do I? Grandmaster Jay, I already told y'all. I played in all my videos, one of my opening. You know, I'm in touch with him personally, and I still am. I've been there since day one, and I'm not the only one. Other people have come on his page to say that's not Grandmaster Jay. That speaks to Grandmaster Jay. That corresponds to Grandmaster. He just doesn't want to listen. But that's clout chasers for you. They miss Grandmaster Jay so much they made up this whole thing. But I think it's COINTELPRO. That's COINTELPRO at its finest. Grandmaster Jay is not doing anything with this house building or whatever they're trying to say. He got nothing to do with it. Neither does NFAC. So stop the lies.
Yeah.
Stop the lies. I got to play your song now, okay, brother? We're gonna play Twisted Lies. We have to play that. I have to play that.
Yes.
Oh, let me find. Wait a second. Let me find. How do I get to this? I hate this thing. They changed up everything on me. Okay, here we go. We're gonna play Twisted Lies.
ID, please. Let's take a moment for the ancestors. A lot was homeless in the bad weather, and that's the reason we should stick together. Cause with each other we do better, we can never settle. See, our people took a lot of beatings. Don't disregard the teachings, the heart is where I'm reaching. How is it so our people so deceitful? When we begging to be equal, tell me how we beat them. And everybody cannot be a leader. You gotta learn to follow first before you lead. Even anathema, they gon' have to fail. Tell me, can you really tell? Your people really care to know that I'ma be there. They gon' see hell, yeah. And we don't give up forever, no enemy ain't feeling me. Cause the remedy is what we really need. It ain't really hard to see. We got too many people, just know that I never will leave you. And I'ma ride with my people till the end. That's just what it is, what it is. I'm going all about my West Man. With the boss man. Soldier of life. Yo. ID. Woke up this morning and all came so crystal clear. An ancestral voice screaming loudly in my ear. Looking through these framed spectacles, a tactical perspective tells me more than meets the eye. Living amongst the pitiful, visual, blurry, the streets of the day. Hurry, trying to stay out the way. Really, the trial is inevitable. This ancient black skin's got me spinning parables, and still ain't ready. Even though devil tactics no longer hide behind ghostly masks. Do you really have to add? I refuse to release my testicles. The best among us will be those who unify. Black thoughts over barbecue sauce, round table talk, art of war. I'm ready for battle. If my kid folks still caught with the babble, blood is thick in the water. I breathe in us till this fish bites the gravel. All I wanna do is see my people unify for real. Oh, broken nation, the pain heal.
ID, please.
Yes, that was Questman and Bossman fam. I'm gonna go back to Questman. Yeah, oh my gosh, hold on, let me get you back. Oh gosh, wait, it's going to another video. Let me stop it for the other video and let me find you back. Oh my goodness, they got me going crazy here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna get a song in every now and then, and the next 3 songs are yours. Wow, family, let me shout out the family that's in the building. I am looking at the chat somewhat, but we have Althea Polk in the building. Of course, shout out again to Kevin Harris and Gary Branch. Clean Black Sneakers. Dee Marie is in the building. Yaya's Kids. Spiritual Rising. Nicole Moore. Our sister Olivia Thompson Green is in the building. Shayna Carter. Shayna, I don't know whether to call you Shayna or Shauna. Shauna Carter in the building. Family in the building tonight. Victor Jordan is in the building. Shalom, everybody coming on in. Mary Leatherman. Oh, my sister Mary. Our sister Mary's in the building. Woo, the family's in here. Oh, yes, no doubt. We in here strong. You see, Lori Calkins. I'm gonna shout you all out. I sure am. Shalom, David Weeks. Everybody. Boss Man Blake was in the building. Everybody came on in. You know, we are just spitting the truth because these I don't even know what to call them, Edomites, because I don't even know who's running that other page. But whoever you are, let me tell you something. You reap what you sow. And right now you're sowing a lot of bullshit out here that has nothing to do with us, Grandmaster J supporters, Grandmaster J himself, or the NFAC. So just stop your shit. We got Willie Patton. Hi, Willie Patton in the building. Man, it's just crazy. I just, I usually don't pay attention to none of this, but it's bad when somebody comes up and says they have a letter from Grandmaster J. Where? What? We show you the letters. Operation Bring Them Home posts the letters, makes the flyers. Come on now. Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. We're on top. We are on top of it. We do, listen, it's just ridiculous. I find it ridiculous. This white man, American Dufus, is a liar. He has no contact with Grandmaster J whatsoever. And the problem is he really believes he does. I'm sorry. I have to laugh at that. Grandmaster J didn't contact you when he was out. Why would he contact you now? Use your head. Exactly. Totally delusional. Totally delusional. But you're supposed to be supposedly running for presidency, independent candidate. Where's your research out here? Oh no, we don't need you. America does not need you as president. You can't even do research on YouTube. How are you gonna be a president? Oh my gosh, that's just funny to me. Really funny. I got the family in here talking. They talking. they are oppressors. You know, it's COINTEL at its finest. That's what I believe. You know, they're trying to make people believe Grandmaster Jay is doing things from in there out here. No. Grandmaster Jay is fighting for his freedom. That's what he's doing. Okay? That's what he's doing. NFAC has nothing to do with this black media, familia, whatever. Shalom, Leslie, sister. Nice to see you, love. They have nothing to do with it. And what they're trying to do is extract your information. Get your name, number. COINTELPRO at its finest, okay? Simple as that. Simple as that. We're going to go back to some music, okay, my brother? I'm going to play a few songs, and then I'll probably shut it down. And if you want to go live on your page, because you are streaming on your page, are you not? Yes, okay. So Questman is streaming on his page, family. Shalom, Beverly Hill. Oh, the family is in the building. Now, if you want to, after this live, go over to Questman's page, Soul Journey of Life. Somebody drop maybe I'll drop the link. Let me go back to some music. I'm going back to some music.
Shout out to the NFAC, UBKN.
You family, brother.
You see the bigger picture, go figure. A strong black community just tastes bitter to the likes of little tykes blinded by the great white hype whenever we stand up to fight. Wait, hold on, I got a question. What's a life worth living when the world you live in is made up of so many who can't see the difference? Standing up for your own versus the hatred and bigotry in a land that makes to be for you and me. From sea to shining sea, the place is laced with the effects of the system and races. So when a black man stands up, instead he's going to put your hands up, then he gets choked up and broke up. There's no love unless you be from among the docile. Quick to throw in the towel, ducking the dodge to avoid fitting the profile. So I salute every black man and woman who understands the codes upon which we must stand. That reminds me, and I can never forget all those who stood up, sacrificing the comforts of life just to defend your right to respect. And yet, where's everybody when it's time to really pull up and show up? Why can't we see that without true unity there's no luck? Hold up, they locking up both illegally, suit up and strap up. We gotta speak up and quit sleeping on the moves we need to take up. Wake up for you next on the list to get him up for real, bro. United States versus John Johnson. Free John Johnson. Grandmaster J. United States versus John Johnson. Free John Johnson. Grandmaster J. The United States versus John Johnson. Free John Johnson. Grandmaster J. United States versus John Johnson. Free John Johnson. Grandmaster J.
This is a shout out to the general, a hell of an individual. And this is really pitiful what you did to the stereo. I know this may be liberal, I'm hoping you listen close. And he stood up for the peace, so I hope you don't turn cold. This ain't no clout chasing about facing. Oh yes, it's about race. So I'm saying we not making a cup of outbreak. But y'all say y'all better make sure he make it out. Say it's about Jay. We don't mind breaking down every barricade. State to the federal. We see a bunch of cannabis, a system full of animals. We thinking they can handle it. They got the right. Don't think we fighting just one, cause the righteous do good. I got a light with two, man, they too dumb. Screw tight, but I'm about to lose one. See, we don't do fun. No, we gotta do something. We coming with a new front. And I see true dumb. It's a brand new revolution. Got a solution.
Love is unconditional. It's not something that comes with a guarantee. Unconditional love means that I don't expect perfection. Unconditional love means that I love you because you exist. United States versus John Johnson. Free John Johnson. Grandmaster J. United States versus John Johnson. Free John Johnson. Grandmaster J. United States versus John Johnson. Free John Johnson. Grandmaster J. United States versus John Johnson. Free John Johnson. Grandmaster J. You all said that you wanted this love affair, and I told you I would never forsake you or leave you. And I said that even if you turn your back on me, I would still love you. Because of that, I was always told that when you're doing things that please the enemy, you won't have a problem in the world. But when you're doing those things that please the Most High, then you can expect that your address will be the only address that the enemy has.
Sure. speed. Grandmaster J is right. Is right, brother. Okay, now, people, I dropped the link to Questman's live stream. I think we need to go over there and give him some thumbs up. Y'all can give me some thumbs up and share this out. Get the message out there that you know, the American Dufus is a liar. Simple as that. He has no contact with Grandmaster J whatsoever. He did not read a letter from Grandmaster J. Grandmaster J has never corresponded with him. Never sent him any voicemails or anything else. He's no contact and never will, he said. Never will. Exactly. This is what it is. You know? Right. Exactly. Now we know that that page of Black Media just started March 2023. So, like, come on now. Come on now. COINTELPRO at its finest. Well, guess what? We ain't falling for the okie doke. No. Those days are done. So I'm gonna play. Let me see. I've got a few more videos. No, I got to end it. I got 6 minutes to end it. So I'm going to play one of the. My sister, what's her name? R. Crowley always asked me to play this song, so I'm finna play it. It's you again, my brother. 1 million strong.
This life we have only one try. Only one try.
Must have a liberation. United Black imagination. That's the situation.
Black sisters to the right, black brothers to the left. Original gold black fist against my chest. Brave, bold, and cold. They be the warriors. Salute to the soldiers. Salute to the soldiers. Black unity, black family. It's time for you and me. It's like the gathering. Just be black, unite, be black, black. I can go to stay on cold, gotta have that. NFC operation, nation vision. United Black person. Get it set. All for the pride of the people. Breaking the chains of the evil. Devil is down to us. We pick me and I get up in. Or what you use of pain. They say all I come to an end. But what will be strong? Come marching on your lawn. Sign to the last day. What you waiting on? Come together. We come together. We come together. Together. Every time we want you to find a killer, lock the police, cover up your eyes, knees to the face, knees to the neck. Our flesh was worthy of disrespect. No black and no die. Even if they try, we gotta rise. Restore the black family, strengthen the ties, strengthen the ties, strengthen the ties. Always there, not you despair. Remember who you are by the cool of your hair, the lines of your skin from the head to the feet. 1 million strong black soldiers in the streets, unresponsive to the rest. Setting in the east, the God of my chest against the dog of the beast. 1 million strong, we all I need is deep. We always need to come outside and do it. Come together, come together, come together. Fear of evil, godly amongst his people. Remove all labels, the black nation, all equal. Come consider the stable black scholars. We sit to the real and the by angels, not the angels. Be careful to those in the stable. Which was mighty, all as the chop down. Was out the mighty two that keys to broke and the ground. They thought we stay asleep. Just move family, keep them their eye on the beast. Get off that mountain, or tell it out the street. West man, like light stays on his feet. Nobody moves.
Nobody makes a sound. One hit on sacred ground. Another one in each arm just in case it goes down. You be here, baby. Pass it all around. Come together. Together. Come together.
Yes, yes, that's the situation, family, no doubt. There we go, family. Now listen, what I'd like for us to do, let me stop it right now.
Co-production.
Stop it. Hold on. Let me stop it. There we go. Now, I dropped the link in the chat. It's time for everybody, because I'm shutting this down. Go on over to the link I hit. That's this live stream, but we're just going over to Questman's page, okay? Let's show him some love, give him some thumbs up, and hang out with the brother, because the brother has intelligent words for us, okay? Okay, Questman, I love you, brother. You know your family, man. You know, we all come together in times when these Edomites try to come at us. COINTELPRO. Nah, they ain't breaking nothing up over here. And whoever wants to listen to that dumb shit, that's on their own. We know Dufus is a liar. That black media, whoever you are, you're nothing but lies. Keep it up. Bring some more. Play with me if you want to. I don't play because I know the game. I love you, Questman. I'm going to end this right now. Everybody, let's head over there. Peace and blessings. Keep doing what you're doing, okay? I'm going to play a video song to go out, and everybody go on over to Questman's now, please.
Oh, shoot. I was trying to show that last song. Man.
I'm gonna my life right now. I say yes, yes, yes. I'm so blessed right now. And all on me. I say yes, yes, yes. I'm so blessed. Call the blessing them 6 by 6. Call the blessing that I witness. Call the blessing them 7 by 7. Blessed on earth, blessed from heaven. Call the blessing them 8 by 8. Call the blessings God, God so great. Call the blessings them 9 by 9. Judge the blessings all my way down.
Okay, fam. Are y'all heading over there? I'll drop the link again. Let's go. I'm gonna end it now. Woo!
Blessings over. Feel it right now. Blessings, blessings, blessings.
Have to just end it. I love you all. I have to shut it down. It's the hour. Let's go on over to Questman.
Shout out to Sister Kaymoney for that, making sure that the real, has been represented and that we stay on, you know, real, true news, our story. Some people, some of these people, they feel like, they can better talk about us than us. You understand that somehow, for them to talk about us is more authentic than when we talk about ourselves. Sometimes there's something about when what happens when we truly know one another. We know when something is being said that is not true about one another. It's like I was saying over there. When you listen to your brothers or your sisters, you like even in your own immediate family. You understand? Imagine if you've got your mother. You know how your mother talks. You know her. You know when she's mad. You might invite me over, right? You know what I mean? To sit there. I'm sitting there, and everything sounds cool, but your mother is mad. I'm looking like, dang, oh, what's wrong? Like, oh, mom is mad. Mom is upset. I'm like, she is? But because you know her way. You know how she sounds. You know how she talks. And that's the same thing. That's what happens when we become a stronger community. We start really knowing one another on a more intimate level. So that way, when something is said about any one of us, you know if it's bogus or not. You understand? There may be some validity. Like, let's say, your little brother is always up to no good, always doing some shenanigans. You'll know if it's the type of shenanigan that little brother will do. Or if somebody's, putting more to the mix, like, nah, that don't, I mean, he does his dirt. He does this, that, and the other. But that don't sound like my little brother. I don't know. That don't add up. That's not something little Sean would do. That's how it is when you really know one another. We're in a day and age where that's ever more important because we may not realize it, but that's of the various things that they're using against us. And I'm gonna try to see if I can get something up here because I've been kind of looking at the more open and blatant ways that they go about trying to disrespect us. Let's see. Let's go here. And see, ones like this doofus could, believes they can get away with stuff like that because, like I said, it's the egotistical white right complex that because I'm white and I say this and I say it in a classical white professional way, and this is nothing against white people in general, but there's a certain demeanor, a certain character that many of us in this country have gotten used to. I mean, for example, I don't know if you remember like people like Tom Brokaw. These are like news anchors, popular news anchors, right? You hear Tom Brokaw talk, he has a way of talking that makes you believe that what he's saying is real, like he did his homework. Like he's got all kinds of fact checkers and whatnot there sitting there backing him up. But that's because we're listening to we got used to accepting that voice as being the voice of authenticity. Let me see here. I'm going to fix this camera here. Because I don't like when this camera. There we go. Okay, there we go. Looked like it was kind of uneven. We don't, we get used to, but we've been programmed to be used to certain voices from amongst them as being authentic. That's why when you see one of them cry, they could be on some devious stuff, just done some dirt. But because we used to that, oh, what happened to you? She just done killed somebody. She just done did some dirt. But she sound like, like a damsel in distress. Or he sounds like, like a sage or something. All that stuff, we got to learn to break away from all that. You understand? Um, one of the things that we learn is that, when you understand how people can act, the performance that people can put on, to where, like, man, all this time this person was performing, all this time this person was had an agenda. You understand that this person had, a hidden motive. And this is the thing, I can think. I'm thinking back in my mind. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm thinking back in my mind to when I first, observed this individual, Dufus, and even then, I was skeptical of him at that point in time, just to keep it 100. And I only gave him a little bit of an ear, only because our brother had said something positive, about this person. But just like a general, compliment, being respectful, because that's the kind of, a personality that GMJ has. He's a respectable person, right? So I gave an ear to the Dufus. But then when I started seeing certain things, certain type of, and I'm wondering, like, why are you, and I've even mentioned this on some earlier lives to him, why are you so bent on our business? You understand? Why can't you go get some business of your own? Here's the thing. And this is one of the things I wanted to try to build on last night. I kind of forgot about it when I was, breaking bread with someone that I knew from years ago on my channel last night. Make sure you check out my last live, because that's what that was about. One of the things that I try to get across is that, look, we get so, it's like, how can I put it? We've been used to this, so we may not notice our generation, but I believe there'll come a generation to where they're like, why are you guys in our business? Why do you feel obligated to know what we're doing? Why do you feel obligated that you have the job or responsibility to tell us our story? And that was the problem that I've always had with this Dufus. I'm like, why are you in our? What part about this concerns you? But then I like I said, when our brother, said something positive, I'm thinking like, okay, well, there's a point, because they're new. He was a news media personality. You understand? A news media personality, and in that domain, their job is to just tell what's going on. Like, okay, I see, over here in Louisville, there's boots on the ground. Over here, Stone Mountain, there's boots on the ground. And when you're in the media business, your job is to talk about what's going on, to break it down, to explain it to other people who are like looking out their window, like, Wilbur, what are they doing? I don't know, honey. They're putting boots on the ground. Let me quit. But that's what I'm just saying. So that's what the job of the media is to do, right? But there's a line that gets drawn at some point where sometimes what we do is none of your business. So then when you are like adamant about trying to talk about our business, then it brings up questions. I mean, there's one thing to say, okay, well, here's an update on the latest events regarding the NFAC, because there may, that may be something you would expect the general population to wonder about. What's going on with the NFAC? We haven't heard anything about GMJ or, whatever. And so, a news anchor might think periodically, every once in a while, to put something out there. But this is a whole nother level of something else. And it's taking advantage of naive, gullible people. You understand? It's taking advantage of the gullibility of some people that aren't really in the know. You understand? Some people, when they click on the channel, when they click on these YouTube channels, they may not be in the know about, how to understand someone else, or how to know that, wait a minute, is that true? Is that false? And this is an example of that. Because if you didn't know anything but what the Dufus was telling you, that's all you had to go by. What out of that would tell you that, wait a minute, he's not telling the truth. The only way you would know that is from authentic sources of people who are more acquainted to the matter. You understand? Who are more acquainted with how, certain people move, how certain people operate, like things that they just wouldn't do, like things that when you think about certain people's values, like we've heard our brothers' values and things like that. And even if that's all you had to go by, and I'm saying this as one not speaking on the behalf of or not speaking like, like I'm an authority of something, but just if all I had to go by was flipping on a YouTube video, Facts Over Feelings or Morning Mental, if that's all I had to go by, and you pop this little, letter or audio clip or whatever saying that this is so-and-so, I'm like, wait a minute, that don't even sound like the kind of vibe or the kind of element that the person would talk about, not to mention that it contradicts the nature or substance of his message. So I'm just saying, but you would know that from that. If you never watched anything or had anything to do with any NFAC, GMJ, or none of that, you might be taken, gullible. You might be taken snatched up in gullibility because you wouldn't have anything else to go with unless you were the kind of person that that fact checks. You understand? Unless you're the kind of person that fact checks. So that's why, for me, that's why I felt compelled. I put a video up there. It's private now because I had some clips in that video, showing what the doofus was, trying to cite as being sourced from an email, a quote unquote email from GMJ. And I asked him in their live panel, I'm trying to get, I wanted him to kind of present like the email, the source, more, but of course they're not going to do that because they don't have the resource to do that. When you're given bogus news, you have to make sure certain things just aren't talked about. And that's what they were doing. That's why they made sure my commentary was deleted. It wasn't disrespectful. That's not what I do. I mean, it was very straightforward. It was very, just general, like a regular person on your feed asking a question. That's all I did. But they made sure that you didn't get to see, those comments that we put up there. We have to respect ourselves, family. We have to respect ourselves, and it's been made very plain in our times that it don't matter what office we hold, what occupation we hold. You could be an officer, you could be any number of things, and it doesn't matter. They will show you how they truly feel about us. I'm going to try to show you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's see. I think I got to go here. I want to show you an example of what I'm talking about. I don't know. Sometimes my here we go. It's just a little slow. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What it doesn't matter. What position we hold. You could even be a police officer, and they will still show their true colors when it comes to what we mean to them. You understand? Let me see if I can put this up here. And before I do, let me go ahead and I did put it at the beginning. So just regard the beginning clip when I announced the fair use clause that we tend to like to do. And that's going to deal with this clip as well. Let's see here. Let's do it like this. Yeah, all right. It's there. It's visible. So this is just an example that it makes, like I said, it makes no difference what type of occupation you hold. If you are melanated, the enemy, the adversary, is going to let it be known how they regard us at the end of the day.
Deputy Gaston says the guard told him he needed to put his gun in his car. Gaston said he couldn't do that. The conversation ends with a gun pointed at the deputy's back. Gaston vividly remembers that moment.
Basically preparing myself to be shot at that moment, bracing for a shot in my back.
The whole thing caught on security camera as the guard follows Deputy Gaston to the elevator with the gun out, and it appears his finger very close to the trigger. The guard then tries to take Gaston into custody, once again with the gun drawn.
He's got a gun and he won't leave.
But the caller from inside the IRS office never tells 911 the man with the gun is a uniformed deputy sheriff.
You went from 0 to 100 lethal force. Is unacceptable.
That security guard, Seth Eklund, is now facing a charge of aggravated.
So my point is, when you understand that they don't have any respect for us, there's nothing that they will not do to demonstrate that. Whether it be hostilities towards us, whether it be, as I was talking to one person, hijacking our stories and putting a spin on it, whether it be using our suffering to their advantage. That's how BLM came into being. It rolled off of the back of our suffering. Then you end up finding out that the people behind it weren't even people that had our interest at heart. So many examples in which they will make it plain to you that they have no regard and that they will take advantage of us at every opportunity that they have. And Dufus is just another example of that. You understand? It's finally been revealed without a shadow of a doubt that this man does not have any regard for our people, but was simply another example of a wolf in sheep's clothing. You understand? Just another example where finally, we were able to expose that this snake is poisonous, that this is a poisonous snake right here. And just think about how many other types of people from amongst them, who've won our hearts or won our favor, whatnot, that are still operating, still moving, still going on under the camouflage of sheep's clothing that we still take for granted, that we still take as okay, because it's him, man. Yeah, when you understand how this is going, how this works, there's no holds barred. Just like when they see one of us as automatically suspect to having committed crime, even if we're completely innocent, it doesn't matter. We have to also protect ourselves. And I believe that in every sense of the term, we have a right to question their motives initially and to continue questioning beginning, middle, and end when it comes to our interactions. And if they're understanding and respectful, then they'll understand what we have gone through, what we continue to go through each day of our lives, to why we may not always be so quick to trust and believe whatever they got to say. Let's see here. I don't know if you guys saw this. Let me see this. Let's do this real quick. But this is another example of what I'm talking about, of how little regard to morality, to sensitivity, to just, what we like to call good faith. None of that. Listen to this media provider talk about this event. And I came across this on my feed, so I want to talk about it deal with it because it matters. And it should matter to you that these things are happening to us at every cut and corner.
Things I've ever seen. Cop fatally shoots a young man, a father, holding his infant daughter. You heard me. In Seattle, a 24-year-old man, Sean Furr, was shot in the head by police as he held his infant daughter. This actually happened in April of 2020. The reason why we know about it today is because of a news that has been filed. So the young man, Sean, was holding his 1-year-old daughter as he ran through a construction site near Rainier Playfield when he was shot in the head by Officer Noah Zeck of the Seattle Police Department SWAT team. This officer is a 15-year veteran of the police force. The police were responding to an assault on a child abduction. I'm going to give you some background to this and some context, okay? The video of the shooting shows the police chasing Fur as they order him to stop running. So the 24-year-old complies, but is immediately shot by the police. Did you hear what I just said? He complies, but immediately is shot by the police. The lawsuit also noted that the baby falls to the ground after the officer and another officer.
Listen to this.
Saddest things I've ever seen.
Yeah. So it doesn't even matter if you're holding a baby in your arms with these people. It doesn't matter if you're holding a baby in your arms. If they want to take your life, there's nothing holding them back. There's nothing in them clicking to tell them, wait a minute, hold up, time out. He's got a baby in his arm. At least let me, if I'm going to rough him up, whatever I'm going to do to him, at least, hey, put the baby down or put the baby over here. Or, something, to at least respect an innocent life that someone is carrying, but not put not only the father life in danger, but an infant who could have been killed in the shot along with him. Let's say he missed, or let's say something else. He could have been injured by the fall when he got dropped. I'm trying to get us to understand a certain mindset. This is why I was one of the things that I was trying to express in my talk last night when I was talking to an individual is that, yeah, we are taught to be respectful to all of humanity, regardless of all their form. Nobody is saying, hey, we want all of you guys to cease to exist or whatever. Nobody is saying that, nothing of a hatred sort. But we are saying that there is a difference in your nature versus our nature. It doesn't mean that we don't have ones amongst us that won't shoot and kill or whatever. But there's a difference in our default nature when all things are put on the same plane. When all things are accounted for and we're put on the same plane, our default moves are going to be different. Our default moves are going to be different. It takes a lot of emptiness, a lot of missing soul for a person to pull up a gun, aim it at a father holding his baby child, his child in his arms. It takes a lot to ignore all of that and only respond to your determined hatred to shoot at the individual holding a baby in their arms. There's so many examples you can find. We could go on and on all night, where there's a mother in her car with her children there. That doesn't stay the officer's hand from taking her life. A father reaching for his wallet, letting you know that I'm reaching for my license or whatnot. Wife's in the car, children's in the car. Doesn't matter. He must be a threat. He's got to be stopped. I understand the mindset that why these are the first go-to instincts of these people. This isn't just it's not a coincidence. It's not just, it just happens in select scenarios. These are not anomalies. When this is a common behavior of a group or a nation or a species of being, like I said, if you look at all elephants, they all have a trunk and they all make this trumpeting sound. The next time you see an elephant, you can rightfully assume that he can make a trumpeting sound too. The only reason why he might not be able to make a trumpeting sound is if there's an anomaly where maybe he's suffering an illness or a defect or something, meaning something that's not usual is going on with the elephant. Otherwise, you would assume that like every other elephant that I keep seeing, he can trumpet too. And this is what we're trying to say here, that it's seemingly too common for you people of that particular ethnicity to resort to mischief and bloodshed over peace. It's not to say that you can't demonstrate acts of peace. It's not to say that you're incapable of it. But it seems to be that the majority of cases associated with you tend to be volatile, tend to be dangerous, tend to be of anger, of some type of hatred sort. I imagine I can't even say this without some amongst being spiteful about it and not thinking like, wait a minute, let me try to understand why Brother Questman is saying this. Where is he coming from with this? What's pushing him to speak about these matters in a way that identifies something negative in me, right? Instead of going about like that, they would be more apt to be hateful in response. So these are the things that I was trying to talk about with the individual I was talking to yesterday. I wanted to point out the natures. Yeah, if he's about the right thing, it's possible for him to do the right thing. But the truth is, it's harder for them to do these type of things than it is for people on the opposite end of the spectrum. And that's one way you can deal with this is an aspect of the spectrum. You understand? It's like this. Let's say that both of the bird and the turtle had exquisite intellect for the sake of the topic. The bird already knows how to fly, so it's easy for him to do this. But if the turtle wants to fly using all of his intellect, he's got to, map out artificial means to do this. He's got to make equipment, make some type of alterations to himself so he could do the same thing that the bird naturally does, instinctively does. The melanated, and I know some people might not like to hear this, but if you look all across the motherland of Africa, America, and watch us in our natural, untainted, uninfluenced, externally influenced behaviors, we're naturally, spiritually moved people. We're always in the vibe of things. Naturally, if left alone, if we're, in the best of our moods, when we're at our normal default position, we're vibing. You understand? There's a vibe going on, a rhythm going on, naturally. So you can say that as a people, like I said, there are anomalies. There are anomalies, but in our as a people as a whole, we're more likely to be spiritual than not. So we're more likely to respond to things in a spiritual way than otherwise. And in the other end of the spectrum, the case is the opposite for these. This is the reason why they were called devils. I didn't label them this myself. This is a divine labeling. The Most High is calling not only them, but the centers of their operations when it comes to places that they go to worship as devils in the houses of devils. This didn't just happen. This is not just some kind of some people just saying stuff because they don't like one another. Nobody is saying this because, look, our nature is we just want to get along and carry on about our life unhindered. And we've shown this every time. Even after you take our lives, we're like, okay, well, I'm very angry at you, but look, I ain't trying to do nothing to you. I ain't trying to do this or that. Just leave us the heck alone. And then we shake hands, sing songs, and go about our business, show some flags and banners, and march up and down the street and go home. But that's not how they move. They look at you like, oh, we got to do something. We got to do something. We got to cuff you up, stomp you down, shoot you up, poison you up, vaccinate you. We got to do all these kind of things to you because somehow, you understand, we've got to manifest how we feel about you. They're going to respond to their nature. And that's why I say for us, it takes a lot for us to be not spiritual. It would be a fight for you, melanated brother or sister, to not be a spiritual person. You have to fight to do this. You have to be reprogrammed, miseducated for you not to be a spiritual person. If that was so, then the infrastructure of the education system, the infrastructure of this land would not be intentionally designed so you don't know your ancestry, so you don't know your nature, so you don't know any of these things, that you get miseducated from the jump street. It takes all that to decrease your effective spirituality. It's not so for them. For them, it's just the opposite. For them to become spiritual, they've got to do a whole bunch of things. They've got to sit with us for hundreds of years just to understand the Tao. They've got to, travel and even then they still might not get it. The shaman is talking to it like, no, I'm not talking about this. I said oneness, my friend, oneness. Well, you mean like one stone? Or no. You're not a stone. Oneness. You're like, it just, but I'm right here. I understand, but you don't. I'm saying this because I've experienced this before. You could talk to them till you're blue in the face. If they don't get it, they won't get it. They can't get it, at least at that time. It is a fight for them to become spiritual. It's first nature for us to be spiritual, and it's a fight for us to lose our spirituality. It's first nature for them to not be spiritual, and a fight for them to become spiritual. That's why there's so few of them in the movements that really matter to us. I'm blue in the face to some of them, talking about our interest, our desire to be liberated. They don't even understand that we're not truly liberated. We haven't truly been removed from their clutches. We're still ruled by the descendants of their ancestors. We still are not an established nation of our own, with our own, a land of our own, a place of our own, and able to establish our own system of communication, etc., without them intervening and telling us and trying to give us how we can express our rights, what we can do, they're still authorizing our lives. Let me see if I can find this thing real quick. Man, I'm telling you, family. Something I was looking at earlier. Where did I see it? Hold on a second here. I think it's over here. We've got work to do, family. That's the bottom line. We've got work to do. So give me a second here so I can find this. Did I download? I don't think I downloaded it, but let me see just in case I did. Yeah, my PC, not my PC, but my internet is kind of dragging around today. I've got to go here. So hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. is it at? If I can't find it, I'll try to break it down anyway, but let's see if I can find it. I'm not seeing it. But it definitely had a strong point that I wanted to try to present, if I can. Is it here? Because I saved it. I know I saved it. I just don't know where I don't remember where I saved it. So let's see if I have it here. It is hot, Kim. So hold on a second here. There we go. It is hot. We've got to be willing to accept the realities that we are experiencing, and we've got to remove ourselves from being in states of denial. We've lived in conditions of denial for quite some time, where we've gotten used to our circumstances, and we've learned to make excuses and justify contrary behavior. But the more we start understanding our own nature, the more we start, identifying with who we are and seeing that there is a clear difference in our nature. You understand? There is, like I said, there's a difference between a blue jay and a crow. They're both birds. Okay, I'm saying this because, okay, let's say, they didn't have the ancestry that they have, and that we're all just types of the same type of creature, that we're all, but the fact that we're a different species altogether, you have to ask yourself, well, aside from color, aside from the obvious, what other things would be different? Why am I saying this? Because when you can identify that there's a difference between a Cocker Spaniel and a Chihuahua, that in their natural settings, even though these are bred out dogs, in an animal's natural setting is going to be different than something of a different species. They're going to behave differently. A deer behaves differently than a zebra, and they're of almost similar species. A zebra behaves different than a horse. They're two similar animals, but because they're different species, that means there's something that makes this animal completely different. It behaves differently than a horse. A zebra behaves differently than a horse. A boa constrictor behaves differently than a garden snake. It has different features. It can do something the garden snake can't do. It has an appearance that a gardener snake doesn't have. It lives in a different environment than a gardener snake. That's why it's got a different name. It's not called a different name that's just like a boa constrictor, even though it's called a garden snake. Otherwise, you would just say, well, that's a green boa constrictor. It's just another boa constrictor. It behaves the same way as a boa constrictor. But no, that's not the case. One would choke you out, and one carries on minding his own business. You understand? One will choke you. A cobra will bite you and poison you. A boa will choke you out. Isn't that not a different behavior? Is that the same thing? If you met a cobra, it can't even try to choke you. It doesn't know how to choke you. It doesn't know where to begin, but it knows how to bite the heck out of you and poison the heck out of you. A boa constrictor, as much as it might try, it can't try to poison you like the same way that a cobra does. Similarly, the human species are. It's a difference in being of the melanated human species than the Caucasian human species. They're a completely different creature. This is science. We're not the same. So it's not a coincidence that they're more inclined to a certain behavior, because that's their nature. They're not this kind of creature. You can't expect a bear to do something that a wolf does. They have two completely different behaviors. They're two completely different kinds of creatures. Yeah, a polar bear and a grizzly bear might be able to mate. They might be able to make and have offspring, but the natural type of creature that it is always going to be demonstrated in its nature. And even when two creatures that are similar can mate, often it makes their offspring infertile. It means that they're not able to reproduce, that they can't reproduce the same way, or if they are able to reproduce, they only reproduce the dominant genetics from whatever the dominant parent would be. You understand? This is what they say about, for example, the Neanderthal, that the human gene dominated the Neanderthal gene and brought it to extinction through the dominant gene. But it still didn't change the fact that another creature was brought into being as a result of the interbreeding. That another creature is the Caucasian man and woman. Let me see if that thing loaded up yet. No, it's not trying to load up. See, now, I'm telling you, sometimes I wonder at this. Like, just when I want, any other time, like as soon as I get this live done, all this stuff I'll be able to find it with ease. But now all of a sudden, when I want to find it, it wants to stay hidden. Let me see something here. Because my phone operates off of a different network. Let me see. It's very, I believe it's very important for us to understand this. We've been so used to being in denial over these matters. We've been so used to being in denial, and we've been made to believe that everything is, all things considered, we're all just the same. We're all just the same. But here's the thing. Even the earth lets you know, even the sun, I should say, lets you know that there is a clear distinction, a clear difference between the two species. It doesn't mean that one doesn't have the right to exist over the other. You understand? If there's an irregularity, you understand, the laws of nature will deal with that. That's what I say. I don't have to be hostile towards a person of another race. If they're not natural to the environment, the laws of nature will eradicate them from the environment if that happens to be the case. But if it's just another, both the wolf and the fox are able to coexist in the woods, but they learn how to respect one another's existence. Like, hey, that's the fox's territory over there. That's the wolf's territory. And they learn how to protect themselves from the dangers and threats of other competitors or other types of creatures that might be similar to them. It's not too much of a difference under being a human being. It's not too much of a difference. But we have to be willing to accept that we are different species. We're not the same thing. We're similar. We're similar. That's how we're able to talk and sit at the table and watch the TV together and stuff like that. We're similar, but not the same. And so that includes these are those lies again where they make you believe that the only difference between me and person A and person B is how we look. We're not just how we look. It's not just our looks that makes us melanated. Like Dr. Layla would say, it's our whole anatomy is subject to our melanated qualities. Our whole anatomy, from the depths of our bone marrow to the brain cells. Every part of our body is part of what this is to be a melanated human being. You're not just a complexion and that's it. Like, strip off the complexion and that's it. Like, you could strip this off and put another complexion on and you'd still be the same. That's not what this is. We are a completely different type of creature, and the type of creature that we are, the more we would pursue knowledge of self, the more we'd be surprised at just how much natural to what is we are. So I'm saying that because, you know, some people, they like to argue points, and often they argue points that are simply an effect of how they feel about things. They may not like how certain things sound, and so that, you know, they would challenge things on the basis of how they feel. But these are melanated facts. I'm saying melanated facts because when we speak, if we speak in accordance to our nature, it's going to be presented in a different way. Remember, if you remember that brain image that I showed you that other night, these are features of how to operate. And some species of human are more inclined to one than the other. Some species are more inclined to one side of the brain than the other. So anyway, family, the reason why I wanted to get into that lane there is because we could talk about this doofus, but I believe we need to understand the source, the root of the problem, where it begins. Because many among them and a good portion of us have been lulled to sleep and made to believe in lies, made to ignore the clear manifest truths that are right there. That are right there. Look, family, even the sun will tell you that it makes a difference to be melanated or not. If you can acknowledge, you can accept the visual differences that you can see, then also accept the scientific differences. Also accept the spiritual differences. Whether the God tells you in the form of a scripture or in the form of inspiration, accept the truth and stop being in denial that this is our adversary when they manifest their nature. This is our opponent. When they stand on their nature, untainted, uninfluenced, whatever, when they are 100% who they are, and, you know, with no sense of what I want to say. I don't want to say just morality alone, but with no sense of concern for our existence, for lack of better words. There's another way I want to put that. With no sense of concern for when they're being that type of person, when they're being what is called in the Bible, the Quran, and other sources as devils, that this is how they're going to behave. This is the way they're going to behave. It doesn't matter their occupation, whatever their occupation is, that's just going to be the medium of how they communicate the devilry. The only way that they can be favorable to us was for them to contradict that nature or to deal with that nature, to control that nature. And that's what many religions teach everybody, even us. Because even there's aspects of our nature that, if you haven't noticed, that could be problematic for us if we don't care for ourselves. That's how we got to this point to begin with. We were too overtaken by what we perceived in them to be spiritual characteristics or religious similarities. Some of our ancestors saw like, oh, okay, they're brothers in Christ, or they're my fellow Muslim brothers, just like me. So there's links that tie us together. There's camaraderie, whatever you want to call it, so we can get along. Not realizing that, yeah, they may ascribe to a common codes, but their nature is still their nature. You can train you can train a tiger, you can train a lion. There's certain animals that you can train, but you can't domesticate them. And then there's certain animals that are easy to domesticate, and their natures are going to be different. Their natures are going to be different. Even if you have two different animals, and you train them to do the same thing. Let's say you train a monkey to balance himself on the ball, and you train a tiger to balance himself on the ball. It doesn't change the nature of the animal. The animal is still what it is. The monkey is still going to be a monkey. The tiger is still going to be a tiger. So we might sit in the same masjid, the same churches, the same whatevers, but the nature of the people is still what it is. We're not just different in color. So people have to stop believing that lie, and that lie did not come, it's not from us. You understand? It's not from us naturally. I can imagine that some coonery might have been involved at some point in time if we probably trace some sources, because that's what we like to do. We like to find some way to soften the blow, some way. There's always a group amongst us who wants to appease the devilry, who wants to make excuses and justify it and make, they're not all racist. They're not all this or that. He's just one of those that he was just, he had a bad day. He had a bad day. No, he was just full of devilry. He was just following his nature. And yeah, he might have been nice this day, and this day, but that day, the devilry came out. That day, the devilry came out. This is why they have no problem when they want to say the slurs and profane things, derogatory things against our people, and then follow it up with, the reason I said that, or I only said that because of this. Well, no, you resorted to a standard or default position that works effectively. Because like I said, the thing about certain types of responses, you got to ask yourself, was this instinctive, or was this like an instinctive reaction, or was this something that you had to think about, something you had to put some thought to? When you look at person A and person A is like you're not going to think of the same derogatory terms, because you could see your brain is able to communicate to you, oh, that's one of your own. It's like battle. It's like warfare. It's like that guy that was in the Walmart shooting brothers and sisters up. And then he came across one of his own. And when he realized that, he said, oh, I'm sorry. He apologized. He had to think. He had to look and observe it and compute that to his mind. Because otherwise, he was able to clearly see that's an enemy. Bow. That's an enemy. That's an enemy. That's an enemy. Anything that was other than what he understood not to be his enemy. No oops or anything involved. So the same thing is with what people have to say. We have to regard these things for what it is. And people have to stop being in denial. Caucasian, people out there who call themselves allies or brothers or sisters or whatnot, you've got to be willing, if you're going to be true about yourself, true to yourself, not just to me, not just to our people, but if you're going to be true to yourself, you've got to accept who and what you are. It doesn't mean that you have to surrender to your basic instincts. It doesn't mean that you have to involve yourself with devilry, because with anything, a person can overcome. A person can become stronger and, as we would say in Islam, control your nafs. That means control your lower self, your base self. You can do that too. It might be harder for you to deal with the devilry because you might be more inclined to that. But it's still something that's possible. You know, it's still something you can do. But that can't happen if you're in denial that I am a descendant of people, some of the people who were transatlantic aboard a transatlantic slave experience. I'm not in denial of that. This is part of our story. This is part of what happened to some of us. Not all of us, but some of us, enough of us, too many of us. It happened. If I were to, some people do this. They're in denial because that's too ugly of a tale. Why would I want to be associated with a condition or an experience like that? That's too gross to hear. You understand? The same thing goes for all kinds of other experiences that we have in our community. Some people are ashamed of what they manifest, so they fry their hair. They fry their hair to try to imitate people who have hair like that naturally. You understand? You see, the point I'm getting at is for us to be unnatural, we've got to do something extra. But for us to do natural things, it becomes easy. They've got to do extra stuff to become spiritual. Look, you don't have to take my word for it. Walk into one of their cathedrals or churches, and no wonder you see all this imagery, because they need all this extra stuff just so they can tap into that spiritual experience. Without it, they're like, "Oh, brother, I heard what you said, but I don't get it, dude. I don't know. Well, how is, why can't I see him? Or how do you know? Or, all that mess." They got to have the extra stuff. We can just be in the moment. And we don't have to turn on any switches, turn off any, we don't have to do any of that. We can just experience. Period. Like right now, I'm experiencing it. That's why I'm able to throw this at you. You understand? Because I keep on tapping into this same pool of water. This ancient pool of water. It makes it easy. It makes it easy. Just keep on tapping right into it. And that's the part where the devilry, in the devils, flares up. Because that's when they are reminded of their nature. And they've spent years, lying to themselves and lying to everyone. That's why some of them are confused. When you reveal to them their ancestry, when you talk about from where they came. And I've tried to make it plain to them so many ways. I said, look, let's just use this on a most basic ABC elementary level. Here is humanity. The human being that if you want to be religious about it, okay. Well, in that religious context, you have the human being who you're told wasn't just created from any kind of mud. It's as dark in clay. The thing about an artist is when you paint a picture or when you write a story, if you're an author, you won't mention something that's not relevant. The minute you mention the details about something is because you want the reader or the observer to be aware of that for some importance that you put upon it. So if you're reading a book and it's talking about a farm and it's saying, well, there's the sheep, there's the goats, there's the cattle, and there's the barn house. And over there is a pile of hay, and the hay was wet and it's got all kinds of strings and stuff. The more I start talking about the hay, the more you reader would know that there's something important about that hay that the author wants you to pay attention to. Yeah, there's the sheep, there's the goat, there's the this, that, and the other, but I want you to pay attention to the hay. In the same case, the fact that the translation renders the reading as dark in clay, it could be just say clay. If it was no big deal. Clay, boom. Okay, now let's talk about the water and the earth and created the heavens and so on and so on and so on. But these things were important to know. You need to know that this man, he had feet of brass, burnished brass. He had hair of wool. I need you to know these things. These details are important for you to know. So let me give you a clear description, because these things will tell you something about the likeness of this person I'm describing to you. If it was no importance of what this person looked like, a man showed up and he had this news to say. Because none of the other stuff, all you so-called, it doesn't matter. None of that other stuff matters, so we're not even going to talk about it. The last days are coming. Trumpets are going to be blown. Have a nice day. Peace, I'm out. But no, hold on. His hair's like wool. Look at that hair. Where do we see that at? Where do we see that woolly hair from? His skin is like burnished brass. Oh, man, we got to let him know that. Make sure you write that down, Yaya. Write that down, John. His eyes are like fiery coal. Make sure you write that down, because these are things that will remind them of their own likeness. So I need you to know this. So stop giving me these little white lies that this melanated skin is not important. It's not important that I'm melanated or not melanated. Tell that to the sun, Tell the sun, son, it's not important that I'm not melanated. And watch how the sun responds. Oh yeah? Step outside a little bit closer. Let me show you just how important your lack of melanin really is. Let me show you just how important that is for the moment. We're different. Doesn't mean we can't exist on the same planet, but with proper balance and in accordance to the nature of things. It's clear that since you have been ruling, if you look at any one of your rulers as a collection, as a people, they have been tyrants on the face of the earth. Every time the camera had to turn, when it came to the hostilities, they were going to be turning to the West. Yeah, people had wars, people had all kinds of things like that. But whenever it came to that devilry, if you read in the Bible, you keep on talking about the devilry in the West, in the area, the Caucasus areas, where the Canaanites were at, where Rome is at, where it was always in the same area. When they want to talk about the land of Kemet and things like that, they didn't use the same language. It was more like familiarity when they want to talk about Kemet, when they want to talk about, like Arabia and stuff like that. But when they kept on talking about the Romans and things like, it was just an ill, like you can imagine that the writer had an ill taste in his mouth talking about their experience with these people. There's a difference. So it does make a difference what this is that we are. I can say, and this is what I truly believe, that the moment that the Caucasian steps out of positions of power is the very moment that, after a little bit of time of dust settling down from the confusion of the event, the world would return and be able to restore peace. Peace would turn rapidly. The pollution of the world will start to be restored. Natural ways of life would return. Spirituality would become stronger if those Caucasians who are in positions of authority were to step down. But of course, what are the likelihoods of that? And the ironic part about that is some of these people of authority, when they make their prayers, they bow to our likeness. They bow to our likeness. How do you do that? How do you hate on a people or have something ill to say on a people, but at night when you're praying to your Lord and Savior, you've got an image that looks like me on the wall, being held by my mother? I'm just saying, how does that happen? Because there's something about understanding a source of true power, a source of true spiritual energy, that even the most wicked have to recognize, or even the people who want to hold on to certain degrees of power or whatnot, they still know that at the end of the day, I've got to recognize the true manifestations of power on this earth. I've got to find some way to justify what I'm doing and pay homage somehow to the original people on the earth. I'm telling you, and I really believe this, that if we did not exist here, the way that the world would collapse. It would collapse. It would be impossible for the world as you know it to continue going on. Because if you look at pretty much every pattern that you see today, somehow it is a spin-off of something that we had initiated. I know, man, because it's frustrating sometimes because I'm one of us. So it's in my heart to care about people. It's in my heart to not want to see people dragged around or hated on and things like that. And I don't want to be identified as some kind of person who promotes hatred, Because my talk isn't about hatred. My talk is about historical facts. My talk is about the nature of things, what it is that we are, unarguably. But I'm not saying that, okay, well, because this is a chimpanzee and this is an orangutan, hate the orangutan. That's not what's being said here. I'm saying, well, there's the orangutan, there's the chimpanzee. They both exist. Let's go on. Let's go on. And that's what I'm saying here. And I'm also saying that if the orangutan is not natural to existence, like it's not compatible with being, then nature, the divine, will eradicate it naturally. It will be brought out of existence. If consider the story of the children of Israel as they're wandering in the wilderness. That's why, for me, these stories pack deeper meaning than just a story of certain people doing that. But there's deeper meaning. But consider that whole event was the eradication of heathens, of people who were rebellious to the Most High. That whole event was eradicating a generation of people who were rebellious of the Most High, meaning they were disagreeable. They were not compatible with the life and the nature that the Most High had established for that humanity. So they had to be eradicated. They had to be gotten away. The same with, I don't need to say too much, but the same with the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. You don't understand that story? Go and check it out. That's an entire city of individuals, of people, communities who were living in a life of abomination and shame. Not natural to the natural world. Contradictory to the natural world. And so nobody had to do anything. Nobody had to come and war them or fight them off or do anything. But the natural divine order, the natural divine power of the Most High obliterated them. Naturally. And that's what happens when something is an aberration to the natural order of things. It will be dealt with. Fighting the wars, that's one thing. There's going to be wars. There's going to be, but I'm talking about something that's not natural to this earthly existence. It will be dealt with. It will be removed. And order will be restored. Because that's the nature of things. You know, when there's certain things, when you try to do surgery, artificial surgery about certain things, your body is still trying to fight it. That's why when they do certain surgeries, they have to kind of force your body to accept the implant. Because otherwise, the body sees this as unnatural. Like, what is this that you just attached to me? Oh, I wish I could show you this clip of this person who got a sex change. It's a man. Got a sex change, and the video was of this man humiliated, just miserable with what he now had to suffer with. He no longer had the male organ. He now had these other parts that were not compatible with his nature or body, but he had to keep taking these medicines and drugs so his body would be forced to accept an unnatural design. And this is the torment that he's got to live the rest of his life out with, because he can't go back now. There's no way for him to reverse this alteration. So for him, it's hell on earth and hell to come. Or maybe just hell on earth, because sometimes, that might be the lesson he has to learn. Like, look, you see, you was feeling all kinds of certain way, like, oh, I'm about to do this, to do that. Him convincing himself till he's sick in the head that he's a female, only for his body to say, no, I'm a boy. His body to tell him that, the environment to tell him that, the Most High to tell him that. I'm a boy, you're a boy, you're a boy. And now he's salty for the rest of his life. our fight as a defensive fight. This is the way our ancestors have been as a majority. It's been responsive. Oh, you done came in here and we done asked you to get up and go. Well, we got to do something now. We could be doing our own thing, walking, minding our own business. But watch what happens when someone shoulders you and doesn't apologize. Watch how you feel. Because you're going to look back at the person. You're walking along. Oh, you're going to look back at that person like, don't you got something to say? You just ran into me. Don't you got something to say? You're going to want peace between the situation. And if there isn't peace, then you feel the need to respond. Then you feel like you've got to do something, like you've got to rise up and respond, because in that case, you would want to defend your honor. You understand? So you would snap back, clap back, punch back, kick back, something. Talk back till you're satisfied that you've avenged the wrong that was done to you. But it's not the other way around for some people, where they intentionally will look for something to do to you. I've seen people sit there and plot and scheme to do something to someone who was innocent of what they were about, what they were planning, plotting and planning, laughing about it. They've talked about this with the state-sponsored terrorists. They've got recordings of them plotting and talking and discussing what they want to do to melanated people. Plotting and it's funny it's something to laugh about. I saw a video clip where someone, their house is under attack or a fire or something, and one of the children had to leap out the window. One of these people saw that, and instead of thinking to help or anything or feeling sorry, they found in that a reason to laugh. Why would that be your immediate response, to look at catastrophe upon someone and think to laugh? When I see a bunch of dead people, my heart turns. I don't know who they are, why they died or anything, but I'm thinking to myself like, man, that was somebody's mother, somebody's father. That's my first thing. Laughing doesn't even come to mind. There's no stimulus for me to laugh out of seeing massacre. But for some reason, that's like the first thing they would do. That's their first motive, their first motivation, to laugh at the suffering of someone else. I'm just saying, family. Okay. I'm going to put this in here before I conclude all this, because, like I said, there could be some fallacy or something in what I'm saying. There could be something off, but I'm only able to express to you what I'm able to observe, what I'm able to study, and the more I look, the more I find evidence supporting everything that I'm saying right here. Everything that I'm saying. Of course, there's always individuals who could say, well, that's not what I do. And I could look at them and say, I can see that you don't do that. So I can applaud you that you have gained a bit of a mastery to control your behaviors and your nature so that you don't behave like the majority of your people happen to do. The majority of your people are doing these things. The majority of the people that are in positions of authority or positions of power or able to have power, this is what they keep on doing. So yeah, I applaud that you are an anomaly amongst your people. But I still have to regard myself. I still have to regard my people and protect my people, because they may not be aware of this. And I might be able to share this to them. But we've learned too many hard mistakes. So don't mind if we're not too quick to be so trusting these days. Those of us that have traveled this way. Don't mind if we are a little bit more suspicious when you say that you are not like the others. You understand? Don't mind if, we are the ones that get suspicious when you look at us or you got your phone in your hand or whatever after the stuff that we've seen. Don't mind if I'm suspicious of whether you're not just coming to write me a speeding ticket. Because every time we keep on looking at the moves you make, the majority of them always often seems to be contrary to our favor, to our interests. Somehow we end up dead, murdered, killed, suffering. Somehow. And we keep on seeing this. So the natural response is going to be a bit more protective, more and more, against the state-sponsored terrorists, against the systemic racism. The link is in the chat, family. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and show your support to the platform. And many people have different things to talk about. There's different talks about these type of matters that I'm speaking on. But I think that these need to be more or less standardized. If we establish education systems amongst ourselves, it needs to be compulsory. That includes institutions that build on knowledge of self, so we can understand who and what we are and from where we come, where we descend, but also to understand other types of beings that live on this planet, including the Caucasian man and woman, who, while they have the male and female variety amongst them, they are a different species. Hard truths that have to be accepted. Should we treat them nicely? We should treat anything that exists nicely. You should treat the bunny rabbit nicely. You should treat the alligator nicely. But in the case of the alligator, you should give them about 10 feet. I'm not trying to kill and murder alligators because they're dangerous creatures. But I am trying to make sure my children know that gator right there will chew you up if you get too close. That's what my children would need to know, so that every time they see an alligator, they make sure they give them at least 10 feet. And that as much as enticing the alligator might be, or as hidden as he might be in his aims, if you think that an alligator might be in that water or have any reason to believe, stay out of that water. And to look twice to make sure that in that grass you walk in is not a snake. And when someone shows you who they are, if they show you that they're a shark, accept that they're a shark. Bottom line, we need to have these things established in our education. There's no chapter in this that I've mentioned about hatred. I didn't say hate the alligator. I didn't say hate the pig. I didn't say hate the wild dog or the hyena. I simply said understand what they are, so you know how to respond when they are around, should you encounter one. Similarly is the case with a human being and the variation or spin-offs or types or kinds of human beings or human-like beings. Learn about them, understand their nature, so that when you're around them, you know how to respond, you know how to deal with them if you happen to encounter them. Is there any hatred in that? Is there anything hateful out of that commentary I just gave? If you play this whole thing back, is there anything hateful, or am I talking about observations from one melanated person to someone who's not? From me looking at the masses, the majority of our responses to things, to the extent where I can say, well, this is who we are. This is what we are as a people. Because this is what we keep on doing as a people, whether it be here or abroad. And this is who these are. And for some reason, every time I keep on reading about devils and Satans and whatnot, And understand that devil, Satan, is different than the word demon. That's a whole nother level of something else. And a demon can possess any manifest being. A demon can be manifested in any kind. Even a demon could be in an animal. You understand? A demon could be in you. So that's a whole nother word with a whole nother meaning. I said devils. I said devils. And if you do your homework regarding the term devil, as a people, these features keep on showing up. More so in this stock of people than anybody else on the planet Earth. If you look right now today, the biggest noise that's going on regarding the world, the planet Earth, are the events that are being pushed by Western countries, dominated by Caucasian stock of people. Is this a coincidence? Is this something that just a figment of my imagination, that the same kind of people are involved in the same kind of mischief? Why is it, if you go through Africa, yeah, there's some people causing some issues, this and that, but as a people, as a continent of Africa, do you hear this kind of noise going on there? If you go to Brazil, is the majority of Brazilians up to the type of drama that's going on in these other places? Yeah, you can find pockets of people peaceful, living their lives. I've been to Istanbul before. I've seen people just going about their life, living their life, doing what they do. But it takes a country to get involved in wars. You understand? To support and to spread propagandas and what it takes an entire system of people to do that. Not just some tribes here, some small communities there. And I liked when I met some of those communities. We had tea, we had, I remember there was a person I actually got to barter with, the old-fashioned way of bartering. You understand? I've got this, you got that. Let's trade. And I ended up with some pretty nice stuff. Old-fashioned. I like those experiences. That was a very good experience I had when I went into Istanbul. But one thing I did recognize is that, in some areas that I was able to visit, it was clear that I was there. You understand? Sometimes when a melanated person is in some of these communities, they let you know that they know that you're there. They make it plain. Like, yeah, we see that you're not from around these parts. So, dear family, time is ticking. And it is what it is. But I just want to reiterate what we were talking about earlier on Sister Kaymoney's channel. This is our job. If the Most High puts you in positions to do stuff like this, this becomes our job. This becomes what we need to step up to do. Whatever part we are inspired to play in the way of our people, you've got to clock in. Whether it be showing support, donating to the causes, the support people, and to make sure that they have the proper representation, things like that. It's our job. It's not on anyone else. It's also our job to be mindful and to be aware of our surroundings. That includes being aware of what enemies might be saying, or plotting, or scheming. To be aware of those things, to be aware of what the enemy is up to, and the forms in which the enemy is disguising themselves. You understand? Not being gullible. We need to see ourselves as statements. So that means that even us, we've got to make sure that we're in the positions to give authentic communications. So that way, it's Brother Questman. We know he's going to be on the job. Oh, it's Sister Kaymoney. Okay, we know she's going to clock in and do the job. Because like we used to say back in the day, it's my rep, man. It's my rep is on the line. My rep is on the line, man. It's my rep. I'm just saying that's what it is. And the thing about melanated people is we don't forget. When you burn your rep, we ain't forgetting. Yeah, oh, it was you? You did that? 10 years later, hey, hey, I remember me? Yeah, I remember you. Weren't you that dude that used to? And you're like, oh man, you can't remember anything else. You can't remember when I was, giving. You can't remember the good stuff. Nah, they remember when you was on some hypocritical stuff, some hypocrisy or some shenanigans. They remember the shenanigans. People love they remember more so the dirt you do than anything else. They're gonna remember that dirt. So we have to make sure that when these devils spew their devilry across these platforms, out in the street, wherever they may be, on the trains, that we step up. This is the equivalent of breaking the chokehold for one of our people. The equivalent would be if I was on that train or one of you were on that train and we saw this person choking up our kinfolk out, they get choked out or taken off or whatever the case may be that would save the life of our people and get this person up out of our business. Like, okay, y'all stop it. What, you get up off of my people, first of all, and then you go up there and carry on about your business. You'll get to the bottom of whatever's going on here. Mind your business. Unless we got some questions to ask you directly. Mind your business. Stuff like that. Shalom, dear sister. Peace and blessings. Salute. That's how we have to respond. We have to protect our own and see each one of us as sacred, even if you don't know you are. Make it your business. They tell you, it's none of your business. Well, you can say that, but it's my business. It's my business. I'm all up in your business. Man, why you? Because it's my business. You're my business. You're my business. So I'm getting in it. And when someone is orchestrating schemes about us or doing anything positive or negative in our regard, that's our business. It's our business to find out who these people are. And that's how we used to operate. Who are these people showing up? Chief, they are people that say they come bearing gifts. Okay, let's see what these gifts are and let's see who these people are. Now, the first things we would ask, where are you guys from? What's your business? What's your business here? Why are you here? Now, they're not even talking about the gift yet. But why are you here? Why are you up in our place? You understand? Why are you in our place? Then once they cleared that out, once they say, "Oh, we're from Ireland," we're from Ireland, sire. We're from Ireland. Okay, all right, yeah, whatever. So, what are you here for? What does Ireland want with us, our people? We want to know if you would be interested in trade. What kind of trade? We have wool for your silk. Well, we could use some wool every now and then. Then next thing you know, but if there was some shenanigans going on, you understand? It's the job of certain people amongst us to be able to see that and expose it when they do. Sire or chief, look at that. Why do you got that thing in his pocket like that? Bring him forth. What is this in your pocket? Put him in a dungeon and deal with the problem and resolve it right away. That's what we need to do with these guys. When they're exposed, they need to be put in a dungeon, aka, what do you call it? Canceled, whatever you want to put. This person needs to be off the mic. The doofus needs to be identified as a doofus so that people stop taking advice from a doofus. The only thing you can learn from a doofus is what not to do. That's the only thing you can learn from a doofus is what not to do. And in this case, what not to do is give bogus news, give fake news. That's what you don't do. What not to do is get it up in business that's none of your business. That's what not to do. Don't be a doofus. So I'm just saying, family, it is what it is. We've got to keep on empowering ourselves as a people, not in a false, egotistical way, but in an economically empowering way, in a nationalizing empowering way. You understand? In a liberated from the adversary empowering way, in a way that manifests true unified self-determination as a people. We've got to start learning how to move as a people. You understand? So that when we see one move, we already know what that is. We already know what's going on there. Like, oh, they're going to pick up the deliveries. How did you know? None of your business. See, there you go again, all up in this right here. And you don't have no reason to be. You came to talk to me about A, B, and C, but now you're trying to right here. Yeah, business. Get something. So that's how we've got to be. That's how we have to be, family. Fortifying ourselves once again, fortifying ourselves as a people, restoring identity, restoring an idea that we are who we are, that we are a nation, thinking like a nation, moving like a nation, operating like a nation, and then manifesting as a nation, and then thereafter insisting that you respect us as a nation with determination. Like, yeah, we are now moving as a nation, loving each other as a nation, and now we're going to insist if you mind or don't mind, if you please or don't please, there's a nation up in here. There's a nation up in here. So please move aside, because we need to make sure that our territory is well looked after and protected. We need to see this more than just as some kind of dream speech or something like that, but start manifesting it. Start manifesting this flow of energy that's upon us right now. This flow of spiritual energy that's upon our people in this day and age that many of us readily feel. If you restored a sense of self-awareness again in you, a self attunement, I know you could feel that this energy that I'm telling you, I can remember 20 years ago. Yeah, I've got some years under me. I can remember 20 years ago, I didn't feel this energy that I feel today. One of them, they wouldn't know what I'm talking. What energy are you feeling? None. Can somebody go help this guy mind his own business? I'm talking to my people. It's none of your business. Go read a book. We have to have that. We need to recognize that energy and learn how to benefit from it. Learn that this is the opportunity for us to benefit off of unity. You understand? To benefit off of unity, use it or lose it, as they say. In this life, we only get one try. You don't get a do-over. We don't get to try to succeed in this again. If the enemy is able to conquer and defeat us at this point in humanity, there's no bouncing back. There's no bouncing back from that. Maybe on another earth, in another time, we might be able to try again. It would be trying again here, though, on this earth. You know, it'd be one of them situations where once again the Most High has to annihilate entire generations because none of them got it. So he had to wipe out the entire generation, start brand new. Start brand new, a people who will manifest divine love. This is what the books say. This was even your scriptures, you scriptural people. This is what the books are saying. You could be removed and replaced with people who will genuinely have divine love. Genuine love. You don't want to love the one? Okay, well, we'll see how that works out for you. So that's the thing you have to, you people who like to despair, who like to think this is a lost cause, there's no hope for us, there's nothing we can do, just sit and take an L. Some of us are like that. Some of us mean there's nothing. No. Not as long as there's ones with hearts like Brother Questman. Not as one with hearts like some of the sisters up in the panel, some of the brothers up in the panel. Not as long as there's ones like Brother GMJ. You understand? some of the Black Panther leaders that were captured and locked up. On and on and on. As long as there's ones like these, as long as there's ones like Khalid Muhammad that show up on the planet, this is not an L. It's impossible for there to be an L with energy like what I've got going on in me. It's impossible for L. The only word that I could put the letter L in is illogical. It's illogical to settle for an L with the kind of spiritual energy that I feel. You see this image behind. This is why I have this image right here. This animation that you see, because for me it's symbolic to the magnitude of spiritual energy that I feel among our people these days. I also see our adversaries digging themselves a big, enormous hole and falling into it with their own hands. In other words, we've been put in a situation where we didn't even have to rise up and rebel in per se. They're digging their own grave. You understand? They're destroying their own self. I mean, that's what they're doing right now. Seriously, they're destroying their own self with their own hands. They're annihilating their own self, and they don't. Some of them realize it. That's why some of them are trying to protest. But as a people, they're doing everything that are the ingredients of suicide, of self-annihilation. All the ingredients. So when that happens, if we are still in a condition of enslavement at that time, it wouldn't even be an economic enslavement. It wouldn't be systemic enslavement. It wouldn't be any of that. It'd be our own minds. Can you imagine a lion who's trapped in a cage, and then the zookeepers who captured him they die, they get sick or something, and then the zoo itself, the cages bust open and break, but the lion is still looking up like, man, it'd be nice to get up out of here. I wish I wasn't trapped. Everything's let him free. He's completely free if he wanted to be. But his mind has made him convinced that even though the cage is busted open, he's still hemmed up. He's still shackled up and locked up. There's some of us that'll continue to be like this, even when it is crystal clear that the enemy no longer has any power over us whatsoever. Even when it's crystal clear, they'll still believe that they're at a loss, that they're taking an L. So we've got to be of those who have our eyes wide open, shutting down Dufuses, shutting down the coonery, shutting down the hypocrisy, and standing up for those that are really about this. Look, I know, like I said, many of us have different types of personalities. Some of us are more, stone cold, more, brutal when it comes to, the approach. But don't take anything from any other of us who are just as much about what this is about. You may sound like my voice or whatever. Look, the way my heart is I feel like I'm more about unity than some people I've talked to. It's deeper in me than ever before. And it's been that way for a long, long time in my life. So I don't take anything away from any brothers or sisters that are truly about the cause, that are truly about standing up, that are truly about liberation, self-determination, so on, who are truly about it. Because I know we're a diverse people. Family. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to show your support to the platform. That means donating to the LightDome, Cash App, the LightDome, and keep on showing our support and love for one another and making sure that we clock in on the job when we know we need to be saying something. Because the easy way out for some of us would be like, oh man, I see what this doofus just did right here, but I'm just going to let that go. I'm just going to let that pass by. Keep, I got to go to bed. I'm too tired. No, get on up. I was tired. I just did a 4-hour live before that. I was exhausted. But I was like, no. And what triggered me, if you would, was the fact that they wouldn't respond to what I was asking, and that they treated it like I was being derogatory or something, like I said something profanity or like I was saying something hateful, and I didn't say anything hateful. So I was like, okay, so you've made it plain that you're on some shenanigans. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my family is abreast of the situation, right? Yeah. Protecting us from the shenanigans, protecting us from the devilry, protecting one another from the foolery. Whether it be inside or outside, wherever it may be, protection. Yes, indeed, family. So I'm gonna close out like this, family. I salute Sister Kaymoney for holding it down, the cause. We salute even Sister Eleanor Harvey for continuing to hold things down for our brother GMJ. And just everybody that's in the community, even on completely other matters. There's all kinds of, I'm telling you, family, there's all kinds of brothers and sisters who are staying on the job. I was talking about Brother Colt Figure. I got to talk about him again because he's been on the job when it comes to narrating international, national events. You understand? I like to hear his reporting. I mean, sometimes he's quoting other reports and stuff like that, but not with an empty way. He reports it in a way where he breaks open the nonsense. He removes the nonsense and penetrates and gets right to the essence of the report. And so you got to appreciate brothers who are able to do that. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to be able to get to the core of the problem, bypassing all the smoke and elements meant to hide the truth, getting past all of that so that the people he represents and stands up for, the revolutionary hearts and minds amongst our people, are able to get a real idea of what's going on. So I definitely encourage you to to check that brother's channel out. Brother Colt Figure TV, that's his channel, Colt Figure TV. Of course, we mentioned Sister Kaymoney. I still got to shout out the sister and brother TNT, Mike and Jazz. And there are others. There are others where they've made it plain that they will live and die for the cause. Brother, I'm trying to think of Indigo. Isn't it? It's Indigo Vereen, I believe. Yeah, because that was the brother that was sharing the one of the I think it was either Facts Over Feeling or Morning Mental, and that was motivated because it not only was it something that was refreshing, but it brought back some memories of when that particular live was being live streamed. And so yeah, I definitely salute the brother, for being involved like that, and all you brothers and sisters who are out there doing something in some way or another to make sure that our people, you understand, are further advancing towards our cause somehow, some way, no matter what. We either fight the fight with boots on the ground, with pen in hand, whatever the case may be, the fight has to be fought. And I salute all those people who are about it and really truly doing it and not on the nonsense. Yeah. So as for me, family, that's how we're going to close it out for today. Hold it down. Hold it down. And this is your brother, Questman, a.k.a. Abdul Dude, your host, Soul Journey of Life, Conscious Black Social Media. Stay in the grace of the Most High. Stay unified. Stay loving one another. Stay observing one another sacredly. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, hotep, peace and blessings be with you. Take care.
My bad. I thought the shop was closed. You know, I was just like, hey, this is mic work? What's this right here? Hold on. Hey, got an idea. Check this out. What are you waiting for? Let go. The fees and flows for them with their head still attached to their shoulders. I make amends for what I failed to see until I got a little older. Versatility is a necessity in today's business. Take that as a proverb. You may think it's awkward, but it's really just what I observe. Never mind whatever you heard. I'm Questman, so much flow in sync with the flight of a carnivorous bird. I get high off the knowledge of how to spin around my myrrh. Kaaba, Allahu Akbar, blessed when I honor my mama and papa. Disrespect them and it's you I clobber. Aha! Just when you thought all those rainy days would keep me weighted, I rise up off the ground like one snapped out of being medically sedated. I salute the melanated, the froze locks and the braided. Naturally, I make it a habit of keep on loving me, so I'm never bothered by the hatred. You see the frames, but I'm that nerd that's naughty by nature. Ice water vapor, flight of the navigator. Put that on paper, sign right there. I tickle the feminine in the wind, tasting candy-coated raindrops enough to make your head spin. Brother, this is not a ring you really want to get in. Really? I'm a wordsmith, make a nerve twitch. After you heard this, you might just want to roll another. Hold up, as I spit for the righteous, yeah, you might need to pass that as we battle the current crisis. I see red and blue lights in the streets. I bow my head because the fallen carry the same blood my heart beats. Hold it down, UNIFY. Hold it down. Hold it down, UNIFY. Hold it down.
Spin that pluralistic, high quality gold subtone submission. My flow is sadistic. Call me the wordsmith. Keys to the untold stories that bring your passion to glory. Educating the sun, moon, and youth. The universal which introduces logic and nice ideologies. Flying on philosophies, carrying the baby of a dying breed. Correlating ancestors to restore the community. Praying on the cloud, lifting on my knees, soaring on cosmic energies. To reverse the mindset of the ignorant, building abundance and breaking down generational curses. As I smirk, giving you positive hurt. Rebuking the vapor that we breathe in and calibrates our mental to damage, disfigure, disturb that thought process, sorting out the weak. Seeking to kill, still and destroy. The blessings made on a stone of the exhilarating cake that celebrates the victory set out for the world. Exhilarate prosperity.
Hold it down, UNIFY. Hold it down. Hold it down, UNIFY.
Gathering my collectiveness. Nickel B.
Questman, a chosen.
Need help minding your own business? Cardamom Glow, Nature's Teas. From the shop on Soul Journey of Life. Blessings in every cup.
Welcome to your wake-up call. Soul Journey of Life, conscious black social media. The LightDome.